My wife said, "I don't think this marriage is working," while folding laundry, expecting me to beg. Instead, I called my lawyer. She said it so casually, like commenting on the weather, not even looking up from the basket of clothes. I was sitting at the kitchen table when those words hit the air. Instead of dropping my pen or asking questions, I looked up and did something she wasn't expecting. I nodded. Finally, we agree on something. The look on her face was priceless. Pure shock mixed with confusion. She stopped folding and stared at me like I'd grown a second head. "What do you mean?" she asked, her voice suddenly lacking that casual confidence. "Exactly what I said. This marriage isn't working. You're absolutely right." I closed my folder. I've been thinking the same thing for a while now. This wasn't going according to her script. I could see the gears turning. "But don't you want to try to fix it?" she asked. There it was, the expected response she was fishing for, the desperate plea that would put her back in control. Fix what exactly? The constant criticism? The way you talk to me like I'm some inconvenience? The part where you dismiss everything I say before I finish saying it? Her face went through several expressions: anger, defensiveness, then panic. "You're being dramatic," she said, defaulting to her usual tactic. "Am I? Last week you said I was embarrassing because I laughed too loud at dinner. 3 days ago, you said my movie choices were juvenile. Yesterday, you rolled your eyes when I mentioned visiting my brother. For 2 years, I'd been walking on eggshells, second-guessing every word. She'd perfected this dismissive attitude, and I'd finally had enough. I didn't mean," she started. "No, you meant it, all of it. But here's what happens next." I pulled out my phone. "I'm calling Attorney Williams first thing Monday." Her eyes went wide. "Your lawyer? You can't be serious." "Dead serious." I hit call and put it on speaker. Voicemail. "Hi, this is about starting divorce proceedings. I'll need a consultation as soon as possible. My wife and I have mutually agreed our marriage isn't working. Please call me back Monday." I hung up. There. Problem solved. She stared at me like I'd announced I was moving to Mars. "You didn't even give me a chance to explain." "Explain what?" "You said the marriage isn't working." I agreed. "What's to explain?" I stood up, feeling lighter than I had in months. "Unless you're saying you were trying to manipulate me." The way her face changed told me everything. Bingo. By Monday morning, I was already on my second cup of coffee and third phone call. Attorney Williams had called back at 8 sharp. I'd been house hunting since 6 a.m. with 3 properties lined up. "You're up early," she said, trying to sound casual but failing. "Productive morning. Found a few places that look promising. Should have something locked down by the end of the week." Her coffee mug stopped halfway to her lips. Places, houses, you know, the things people live in when they're not married anymore. 3 weeks later, I was in my new kitchen, unpacking the last box. I couldn't remember the last time I'd felt this relaxed. No walking on eggshells, no bracing for criticism, just peace. The divorce mediation was where everything came together. She arrived late, launching into a rehearsed speech about how I'd abandoned our marriage without warning. When she finished, I pulled out my phone. Actually, I have recordings of our conversations since she started showing up uninvited. I played clips of her admitting she didn't mean what she'd said, that it was manipulation. Then recordings of her contradicting everything she'd just told the mediator. Her face went from pale to bright red. The property division went smoothly after that. 6 months after the divorce was finalized, I was standing in my workshop, finally back to woodworking.